Hello wonderful people of YouTube, it is I, Kashadian, and it's finals week. Yeah, my grades are going down, just like Kesha said. It's going down, and I'm yelling timber. I'm joking, in all seriousness, my finals week is not looking that intense. I only have 2 essays and 1 in-class final, and I feel if my college friends were to watch this video, they would just dislike it and like leave a lot of nasty comments. But before you do, that one in-class final that I have is physics, and it is on a Friday. So I have to stay on campus all week just to take that one in-class final. Yeah, I hate my schedule. So the topic of conversation, dating as a transgender woman and the types of men you will meet online. It's very tricky to date as a transgender woman online, especially if you are a transgender woman of color. Sexual racism is very prevalent online, and a lot of the time when I talk to men, they promote the racist stereotype that all Asian women are submissive and we like to have sex, and the fact that I'm also transgender. These two intersecting identities make it very hard to negotiate intimacy. So after my experiences online and dating men online, I generated 4 types of men that transgender women will most likely meet. So number 1, the fetishizers. So the fetishizers already made the assumption that you have a penis. They will ask you if you could use your penis in multiple ways to meet their erotic desires, and they will completely disregard your gender dysphoria. And I'm blaming capitalism for these negative interactions with fetishizers. With the excessive demands for transgender pornography and the transphobic language used to illustrate these erotic scenes, men now see us as tools. Also recognizing that cis women get fetishized, but there's already a discourse that all transgender women are sex workers, so it perpetuates these dehumanizing and fetishized interactions. And oftentimes, these fetishizers use really negative labels to describe the women in my community, such as she-male, ladyboy, tranny. The same language used to romanticize transgender women is the exact language used to emotionally and physically abuse us outside of the internet sphere. So if you are sexually accepting to my community, but you are not willing to self-educate yourself on how to be a better ally to the trans community, then you are fetishizing us, and we do not want you in our community. 1, it is damaging. 2, it is devaluing. And 3, we feel invalidated as women. So just stop. Number 2, the ones who have masculine fragility. The men that I've encountered with are extremely gender normative. They have fixed ideas of what gender is conditioned to them at birth, and they use this knowledge to negotiate how they should navigate their gender identity. In other words, they can assert their manhood because they have a penis. So translated to the feminine side of the spectrum, people who have vaginas are women. The rhetoric used to align gender and sex is extremely problematic because when a transgender person is introduced to this equation, then a lot of the time, people question the validity of our identities. So if you find a transgender woman attractive and you are straight, that does not make you less straight. That just makes you more open to other identities of womanhood. But if you are still questioning about your heterosexuality, then the door is right there. Get out. No one wants to hear your heteronormative values. Stop imposing them onto people. Go. Now. Number 3, the genderconformists. This is a subgroup for the ones who have masculine fragility, but they're not as open to transness. When you come out as transgender to a genderconformist, the 2 most popular responses are, I'm not gay, or, but do you have a vagina? Do I look like a man to you? If biology is your main focus when you're trying to find a partner, then that is completely valid. But recognize that your usage of biology as your preference is extremely transphobic because you are using biology as people's master identity. Vaginas do not constitute womanhood. But if a vagina asserts your heterosexuality and your masculinity, then power to you. But recognize that it is rooted to some internalized transphobic bullshit. And number 4, the genuine ones. Now, these guys genuinely see something inherently attractive about transgender women. They aren't like the fetishizers or the ones who have masculine fragility because they have a firm idea of their heterosexuality and masculinity. A lot of the times when I ask the genuine ones what they find most attractive about trans women, they always have this response. Because there's just something about how we have to fight for our womanhood that makes us beautiful women. The genuine ones find this very attractive because we are actively thinking about our womanhood and we have to go through a lot to be our authentic selves. Cis women have the privilege to not think about their womanhood because it has been institutionalized that people with vaginas and people who identify with the gender coded to that genitalia are women. Now, I'm not saying that trans women are more women than cis women, but cis women receive validation every day by dominant society. We aren't in an ideal world that loves intersectional womanhood, so it is up to transgender women to love ourselves. That's what the genuine ones find most attractive about us. Dating while trans is tough, dude. I've only experienced the genuine ones probably once or twice, but the conversations never last because they always end up living in Narnia. Anyway, I hope this was an educational video. It is important to be mindful of like the weirdos that you are going to encounter online. So just please be safe. Make sure your interactions are consensual and always use protection. I promote safe sex. Safe sex is good sex. That said, good luck. This is the Transgender Diary signing out.